an incentive scheme already for electric drivers, I thought? Or is that only on the licence?
That's on the fees.
That's on the fees. Okay, go on.
So on the licensing fees, there's kind of different rates for different vehicles, and certainly the push is to encourage kind of the electric vehicles moving away from diesel, and that's something which kind of the trade need to kind of address, really, because that policy came in 2022. Any new vehicles, we're not looking to allow new diesels to come into the fleet. Those people who've got existing diesels, then yes, they can kind of replace it with a diesel currently. But it's kind of getting the businesses ready, moving them across to the kind of the electric vehicles going forward. That's what we would encourage. But the feedback is difficult to get electric vehicles. The vehicles which the drivers want are very, very expensive. But it goes back to that comment earlier. If you're looking for the top brand cars, then yes, they are more expensive, but there's lesser brands available at lower prices, which might which would fit the policy, shall we say, but it may not kind of be what the drivers would necessarily like to drive. And
I think the thing probably to think about mainly is that we are the current policy, the Hackney Carriage and Private Hire policy is working to phase out diesels by 2025. The end of 2025. So it's not going to be long before there isn't an option to have a diesel vehicle. And I appreciate the concern. I think at the moment, while it's still voluntary, we're not seeing much uptake. I agree. But it won't be long before there isn't a choice.
That's an interesting one, actually, because one of the drivers that I speak to has said when I've asked him if he has any particular issues, he said that is a major issue for most of them, because 2025 is not that long, and for them to, in terms of, they know the life of the vehicle and therefore when they will be replacing them. And as you say, there hasn't been much take up yet. I think this is something that maybe will have to be considered. We'll have to look at it, because the cost of the vehicles for the drivers is, they say, prohibitively expensive. I just wonder how we do that. Go on. Sorry.
So if I could have one. So it is prohibitively expensive, and there's not much choice out there, and particularly the diesel drivers, if they've got a large, well, we're talking about private hire now rather than the Hackney, obviously, but if you've got the larger vehicle, there isn't much choice on the petrol side. On the electric side, there isn't really any choice. But the trouble is, if we only push people away from diesel to petrol, and they buy a car in 2025, that car's going to be on the road for 10 years. That's taking you to 2030, beyond. So, we want to try and encourage as many people as we can to switch and make the switch to electric. That's why there's only a few levers that we can do. We can give them a little bit of a discount on the fees, or we can give them a little bit of a chance to charge a bit extra here. The government can reduce their road tax or get a little bit. You've got to have those little bits to try and make it up, because it is a big increase. So I really think we should be looking at what we can do now, because if we wait another 3 years, then where we're at there in 2026, as you say, all those vehicles will be on the road, long before we're all have left this chamber, probably. Some of us maybe will be here longer than that. Janet might still be here in 10, 15 years' time, but we need to. We should be thinking about these things now. Like I say, we keep on putting it off. You read the reports today, we're constantly putting off these decisions. Anything we can do to try and encourage that, I would really strongly suggest that we consider. So if we could at least look at it, see what, if we may be the first council to implement it, but maybe we should try and do something.
So how would you want that to be implemented?
Sorry, I'm not sure if this is necessarily the forum to kind of discuss it, but so are you looking at kind of, so where you've got the fares for distance, where you've got kind of the set rates, where the additional charges is? So your suggestion is to kind of, on that additional charges, be it for kind of carrying extra people or carrying kind of animals, whatever, there's an option there, an additional charge option, and then people might take that up.